I think one of the big trends at the moment is about understanding what the support teams are currently working on and how we can provide smarter support to the fee earners. We have this new generation of fee earners that are coming through that tend to be labelled as self-sufficient. We are not looking at doing as much digital dictation or typing as PAs or secretaries used to. So it's about, now that we are free of that time, what do we now do with that, and how can we provide that support to them? And also about understanding who is doing what within the business. There is a real thing now about data and about understanding what people are doing. How can we do this more efficiently? From my experience, those are the two biggest trends. So we are currently using BigHand now. We are also looking at going on to some of the other BigHand products, but we started with a situation where we just wanted to get the data and understand what work we were doing in the business. So we are using BigHand now in our PA and admin services to route work from our PAs, team administrators, our document production teams, to and from those teams to the lawyers. When you're kind of selling it to a lawyer, it's the what's in it for me. So from a lawyer's point of view, whereas before, if you would send an email, that email would go to one person. But now actually, if you're sending a task through BigHand, yes, we can direct it to your PA, but what we can actually do is open that up to a much wider pot. So if your PA is not in the office for any reason, rather than that email that you sent at 8 o'clock last night, sitting in her inbox all day, actually it's now in a bigger pot where another PA can access it. You've also got the benefit of that, instead of your work just going to one person, if you're just asking for a printing request to be done, you can now have your whole team administrators view that pot. So whereas before, your work would kind of almost be on a conveyor belt and it would be one task after the other, actually we can route the task to the relevant person within the business. They can get picked up and actioned much quicker. We've also seen that within our business, we use the information that we had from BigHand to look at when we needed support, what kind of support we needed and at what times. So what we established is in some of our offices, we needed support, outside of your core 9 to 5 hours. When we provided that support, what we were then able to see is actually, we had 10 hours done in this office outside of the core hours, which means that's 10 hours now that the lawyers weren't doing their photocopying for themselves, and actually we had the right support doing that photocopying. So the benefits are really about, the main reason why we went about doing this was the right work going to the right person at the right time. I think it's about understanding the individual lawyer that you're speaking to and what is causing them to resist this. Is it because they simply don't like change? Is it because they are afraid of what's it going to do to the relationship that they have with their PA? So it's about understanding that individual and understanding that individual's motivators and speaking to them. So if it is about just explaining, well, actually, if we have support here for longer, or if we have multiple support teams, it's freeing your time up to do more chargeable work, so that's going to help your chargeable hours. If it's about explaining to them, well, actually, your work can go down multiple streams now, so you're going to get your work returned quicker. I think one of the big themes about understanding that BigHand now is not an IT project, it's a operations and people project. So it's not going in and teaching a fee earner how to use the system, it's why we're using systems like that. And it is about, working smarter. They are absolutely fantastic to work with. We have spent many hours in a meeting room trying to, design the best possible way that we can use the BigHand product, and they are just so helpful. Very responsive whenever I've had a question, always happy to help. I couldn't wish for a better kind of working relationship really, because they just help me out so much.